Hi there, join me today for a sunrise shoot in Sorrento. I'm here at the port in Sorrento and I'm here for the sunrise this morning. Now it's just gone 5:30 and it's taken me about half an hour to walk down, and it's already about 26 degrees, but it feels like about 30. It's really very clammy and very warm. So what I'm going to try and do is take as many shots as I can before it gets too warm and too bright, but I know that I'm really going to enjoy my photography. So the sunrise is not looking like it's going to be particularly spectacular. At the moment it's very hazy and it has been the whole week that we've been here, and so there's no great cloud in the sky, so the sun will probably just come up with a bit of a whimper really. So what I'm trying to do is find some interesting locations and just try and make some compositions. It's actually quite difficult to find something. On the way down I did take a couple of pictures that were quite interesting. One of a bicycle that was chained up, but it had been damaged quite badly, so I just thought that was quite interesting. Then I saw some lights that were reflected in a pool. I quite like those, I'll show you those. Then in the main square in Sorrento, it's normally massively busy because it's almost like a roundabout. There's several roads that join, and in the daytime it's madness, but just on the way down there was nothing about at all, so I managed to stand in the middle of the road and do a panorama of that shot. That was quite nice as well. So I'll carry on looking around in this location until the sun comes up slightly, and then I'll head off into the town to try and take a few more shots there. So lots of people go on holiday with their camera and try and take pictures to record where they are, but it's often difficult to get really good photos. What you need to do is get up early like I've done today to catch the best light and avoid the crowds and the heat as well, because I really struggle with the heat. I'm already struggling this morning a little bit because of just how warm it is, and I find that when it gets hot I can't concentrate as well. You're just focusing on getting from point A to point B and you really stop thinking about taking good photographs, and so being up early is an absolute must. But then you've got to try and find good compositions in a completely unfamiliar location. Just try and take something that is a little bit different. Now I'm quite dark in this shot on purpose because I wanted to expose for Vesuvius, which is the volcano here in the background that dominates the Bay of Naples. Now it's also famous for burying Pompeii and Herculaneum, which are two cities you can visit today that have been excavated, and you can see the remains of houses from 2,000 years ago when that volcano erupted. And we visited there a couple of days ago, and you can see that in a live stream either that's been aired or will air very shortly. Sorrento is a really lovely place, but it's different from a typical holiday resort because it doesn't really have a beach as such. You can see the whole town is built on these cliffs that overlook the sea. So there are a few beaches, but I think they've been man-made and they tend to belong to private hotels, so it's difficult to access them. So if you're a beach lover, Sorrento is not for you. So you never know what you're going to see when you get up early in a different place like this. I was just milling about the marina trying to find some shots when I saw several cats, so I thought I'll try and take a photograph of those, and then a man appeared and started calling the cats towards him, and he put out several tins of food and more cats appeared, probably a total of about 10, so he's obviously thinking about feeding the stray cats of the area, but I think I did get a fairly good shot of him feeding the cats from that. So I'm going to leave the marina now. The sunrise is not going to be very spectacular. The sky is very hazy, and so it's not going to light up, and besides, the sun rose properly about half an hour ago. It's gone a little bit cooler, thankfully, because there's a little bit of a breeze down here by the sea now. It's got a little bit lighter, so I'm not quite as warm as I was, but I'm going to head up now while I'm a little bit cooler into the main town and see what we can see up there. So come and join me. So one of the biggest problems a holiday photographer faces is being in the right place at the wrong time. And by that I mean in the middle of the day when the sunlight is really harsh and bright. And that gives you really harsh, contrasty light that really doesn't make for very pleasing photographs. So if you can get out early in the day like I have this morning, it will really pay dividends. Plus the fact it gets really hot, and when I've visited Pompeii and Herculaneum a few days ago, I found it very difficult to concentrate because it was just so bakingly hot. And so taking photographs was just secondary really to just trying to get from point A to point B. And so really do make an effort to try and get up early if you can, because already you can tell from the traffic noise behind the camera that it's getting quite busy, even though the street that is here behind me is still quite quiet. But give it another 2 or 3 hours and this street will be absolutely alive with people. Just here behind me is a very attractive square. Now admittedly it's not going to make a great photograph, I'm not going to hang it on the wall or anything like this, but it is a really good record to perhaps show people what this place looks like, because it really gives a good idea of the character. So I've thought about the framing for this shot as well. I've not just taken a snap, so I've put a statue that's just here behind me on the right hand side that's framed the buildings behind with a leading line of the path going through it. So there's still some thought gone into the shot even though it's snap, and because it's earlier in the morning the sunlight's not too harsh, so it's still quite pleasing. So again, it's really important to keep your eyes open for photographic opportunities. Just here, there's an archway with a statue in it, and just on the floor down here is a cat laying down, and so I've framed that up so the cat is in front of the archway with the statue, and that makes for a nice shot as well. So there's a street scene here behind me that I think would actually look even better with these street lamps lit. I think it would really make it very atmospheric, but obviously I didn't know it was here and I missed that earlier this morning. So if I did get a chance to come back here again, this would be something that would be worth visiting again with these lights illuminated, because I think that would really give the whole thing some character. But what I've done anyway, as it is I've taken 2 different shots, one very wide and one that I've zoomed in on this area about around here. And what I've also done is I've bracketed, so I've taken several different shots at different exposures, and then I'm going to combine them together to make an HDR when I get back in the computer, just so I pick up the full range of tones. So while I'm out and about, I will quite often just take my compact camera with me, because it will slot into your pocket, but you know that you've always got the ability to take a photograph if you see it. Now it might just be a record shot of a nice scene that you see, but often you will see a really interesting photographic opportunity that you'll miss out on if you don't have that compact camera with me. But mainly I know that when I'm out with my big camera, my interchangeable lens camera, I'll spend ages setting up the tripod and the composition, and when I'm out with my wife it's not really fair to expect her to wait. So I've got the camera there that I can take quick snaps of, but I do know that I'm not going to miss out on any really good photographic opportunities. So I'll show you some of my best photographs that I've taken around Sorrento now. So I was walking up the road here and the sun is shining down this side street behind me and making a really interesting composition because it's reflecting off the black stones in the road and it's coming through this archway here behind me outside a hotel. What I wanted to do is create a sunburst as well. So I stopped the aperture down to f22 because this ensures that you get a really good sunburst because the blades of the iris are really close together. Then what I did is I framed up the shot so the sun was coming through one of the gaps in this archway and took the shot. But as a bonus, when I looked at the picture, I noticed that the sun was also illuminating the glass bulbs in the street lights, and so it made for a really interesting composition. So I'm looking forward to seeing that when I get it back in the computer. So it is starting to really warm up now, so what I'll do is I'll leave you with some of the shots that I've taken as I've been walking around the town. So I hope you've enjoyed that video. It's definitely been something a little bit different and it's challenged me to try and find some different photographs as well in an unfamiliar place. Now the key to taking holiday photographs is if you can, get out early and explore the location before you go, but if not, just try and think about your compositions, and all that really matters is you get some really good records of your holiday for you to remember in the future. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, let me know down below in the comments, or nip over to my Instagram account, that's @DarrellOakden. Leave me your comments there, and you can also see lots of my photographs. Now if you like what I do on the channel and want to help support me to make future content like this, then you can also visit my Teespring store. There I've got a range of merchandise on offer and there's lots of new designs, so go and check that out. Also, there's a super thanks button down below, but you don't have to spend any money at all to support the channel. You can do that simply by clicking like, subscribe and the bell notifications, because that really helps me out and it makes sure that you don't miss out on any future content. Watch out for next week's video, that goes live on Sunday. In the meantime, go and check out this video just up here, but all that's left now is to say stay safe and see you soon.